Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Download the app, use promo code DNVR when you sign up. We're chopping up in a winner's lounge, baby. That's right. Rapids win 3-1 in the third round of the U.S. Open Cup, defeating Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC. We got a dub. We're going to talk about it right now. Joining me, as always, it is Super Yahir.
Happy to be here and late night like always. Let's go.
Late night like always. That is right. Joining me, fresh from his first press box appearance, downtown Duane Brown.
What a great one to be up there and watch the beatdown from.
Yeah, you got a whole new vantage point.
It.
Whole new vantage point. It was a great little game. We had some fun. I think there's, we're gonna combine recapping the Open Cup win. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Vancouver game, seeing as how we don't have our normal show tomorrow. But first we have to pour one out. Pour one out for the old mantra, the old way.
Shall we have a moment of silence, gentlemen?
Yes. There we go. Perfect. Perfect.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Look, that was a win. It's done. Everyone can stop freaking out. There were so many stressed and nervous. There was never felt a more nervous energy pregame up in the press box like I did in this one. Everyone was just on edge because they knew it's only bad, right? It's only bad if you lose an Open Cup. If you win an Open Cup game this early, you should, right? And when you lose, it's embarrassing. And it was nice that goal happened early. They looked good. Even with that 1-1 going into halftime, it still felt very much like an easy win, and they cruise. Highlights. We can start with Lewis or we can start with Max. Where do you guys want to go?
I mean, you got to start with Lewis.
Jonathan Lewis. J. Lou had his he left his mark on this one. He scored in the 5th minute from the left side of the box. Pretty classic Jonathan Lewis goal. He then gets another one on a great give and go in the second half with Max. That he was running across the box, gets it to Max in the middle, just kicks it up into that top level of the box. Lewis gets to it, buries it. 2-1. Max adds another after that. This was Lewis's first goal and assist of the season. He had 2 goals, 1 assist. Yaya, what'd you see from your vantage point with Lewis tonight?
Honestly, dude, like we were talking this about before the game, he was out talenting everybody on the Hailstorm. It wasn't even like he was doing anything. He does exactly what he does. It was just he's more talented, he's quicker, he's better than he's better than anybody on that team. So
yes,
it's pretty easy just to say he was Jonathan Lewis, just he's better than everybody on that other squad.
Yeah. And for me, that's kind of the whole narrative of this one is not only are they bigger, faster, stronger, but they're also all more skilled by a pretty comfortable margin.
Definitely.
It was a masterclass in first touches. Some defenders going to ground on Lewis, Max, Cabral, just stuff you wouldn't see against MLS first team defenses, but when you're playing, USL 1 team, it looked pretty good. Duane, what do you see from our guy Jonathan Lewis today?
I mean, he was just in control the entire time. It's like every time he got the ball, you felt like, all right, we've got like a 70% chance of goal right now happening. But that second goal especially, great setup from Max. But the way he just buried that ball, I mean, it was almost angry the way he put it past that keeper. It was wonderful.
That's the So he's had 2 goals in 3 games, and both hit the keeper on the way in, but he's blasted it so hard that the save couldn't do anything. Yeah, he looks
Oh my
good.
gosh, he looked good.
Yeah. Max obviously with the start. Let's go over that because I thought it was a pretty interesting starting lineup, right? Because you're going to rotate some squad. You're still going to have about half starters, right? Give or take. And I'm getting up to my first tweet in the tweet thread here, all the way from the bottom. Okay, so you went Lewis, Yappy, Cabral across the top. Nothing crazy there. I mean, I think that might have been the starting lineup in San Jose already this year, so nothing crazy there. Prizo and Vargas starting, obviously, and then Seb Anderson and Markanek outside and Illich in goal. Maxu and Lawless, though, getting that start with Prizo. That spine is formidable. Some dogs. Dogs.
To me, the outside dynamic that wasn't the actual game was more interesting than the actual game itself.
Yes.
Like, it was more of, wow, you're really going for it because you're starting, 5 starters?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
let's say Lewis, Cabral,
Maxu,
and Lawless. Yeah. And then there are
So-
some people who get starts, but not starters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, your 5 is quite a bit. Like, honestly, for an up-and-come game, especially what you've seen from the Rapids in the past.
Yeah.
So that to me was very interesting. It just shows me that all this talk that, hey, we want to win, we want trophies, we want to get something else out of it, and we're taking knockout games seriously. They shut up. Like, they nut up and shut up. Like, it's literally, that's what it is. They went out there and they put out the best squad they thought was available, and I have to applaud them for that, just for that itself.
Yeah, and I think, kind of my early thoughts on the game where you put strong spine, and it lets Cabral and Yappy and Lewis up top kind of cook, and you're safe at the back with the Priso, Lawless, Maxu back, right? And so it doesn't really matter. Like, you could let some guys get minutes and mess around in the periphery, right? Because you're going to be threatening on goal and you're going to be strong at the back. And I just thought, like, say it was the opposite and you're starting your midfield, but you're starting Edwards and Seb or something as your back line, right? It's not the same. Like, you're much more scared in that situation. So I liked how he still got some rest, but I think he picked the right starters to keep in. Does that make sense?
It's a stability thing. You were making sure the most important was stable, and you were letting the guys experiment up top, which is kind of what it should be. And it's, again, they went with a 4-3-3 for the most part, and I thought it worked for them. And again, that's usually how they practice. Whenever you've been to practice, they do out of the 4-3-3 formation a lot. Then they just transition to the 5-4-3 whenever they're out there in an MLS game, which I think is really smart because the 4-3-3 really allows you to do a lot more positioning, a lot more triangles, that how the game is going to work and control the ball. And the 5-4-3, all it does, the 3-5-3, the 3-4-3, 3-4-3, gives you a little bit more defensive backbone, how you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just thought it was, hats off to Robin. He got his first knockout win, right? Porig also.
Yeah, and you know what really sucks?
What?
That I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm more upset than I am excited, and it's not because, like, not even upset. I'm more critical.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the Rapids win, it's like you should have won.
Sure.
Rapids
yeah, there's
lose,
yeah.
There's no win-win. So I'm looking at this and I'm like thinking, like, there was some bad performances on the Rapids.
Ooh, I'm
in
curious.
my opinion.
Do you want to jump into those now? Is there anything else you want to touch on positives before that? Because I have some similar thoughts. There's some people I'm like, oh, didn't love it.
I just didn't like what I see from some people. But what about you doing? Any positives?
Knockout win, 3 goals, solid performance by lots of players. Yes, Logan, 1 bad play on their goal.
Yeah. Happens.
Mark Hannick missed the mark on that one. It's fine. When we're scoring goals, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. That's a saucy comment for one mistake, but I thought there were a lot of really great plays. one small thing that's maybe overlooked was towards the end, they were pressing in, and normally when we would have just punted away, it just like a nice little run of on the mark, awesome passes, like all the way around the entire squad that just made, that just proved that this is MLS level versus not.
Right.
Which was really, really fun to see. And I don't know, man. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sure there's some things that weren't perfect, but we can jump into those and then finish up on some good things.
Yeah. And I will say, like, again, the team won. Like, it's a
And
good
Max.
thing. Like, they did great. Yeah, Max had like the players I wanted to see do good did pretty well for the most part. So I thought it's more like the thing is that the criticisms stand out a lot more when you're playing such a lower level of competition.
Sure. 6
That's
games
the
unbeaten
big
as
thing.
well across competition.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's not even negative. It's just more like there was some things that caught my eye more on the negative side and the positive side.
Yeah. All right, let's get into that. First, as we'll call him.
My first was Priso.
Interesting. I had something completely different. I'm curious. Okay, go.
I thought Priso. I love Priso. I'm a Priso guy all the way. He still looks like he's panicking a lot. His first touch needs some work. His passing is also it's not there or as accurate as I would like it. He still has that dog. The thing about Priso, he gives 110% every single time. His effort is never the question. And my biggest issue is just I think he needs to on the technical side of it, work on a little bit more. Be a little bit more aware of where he is and be sure that he's making the right play. But that just kind of happens with gameplay and game time, and he hasn't done that. But I just want him to, he needs to polish that up a little bit more. He should have been controlling that midfield a lot better, in my opinion. And I just think he wasn't there, unfortunately.
I agree. But that being said, he was the most in position I've seen him this season.
That's the thing. He's improved quite a bit.
You know what I'm saying? This was the game where you don't see him sprinting 20 yards because he ran the wrong direction on a counter or whatever. Like he was where he needed to be 90% of the time, give or take.
And again,
for a team like Hailstorm, that their entire offense is the counter, kicking that out from their own end. A lot of times when they tried to do that, it was not successful because Priso was very tenacious on that. It may not have been pretty, and I can't speak to the passes after that, but Mitch and I were talking during the match, like just how he did not allow that to happen because he was always like right up in somebody's face before they could get the ball away to get that transition underway. So
physically he looked to be on a whole nother league.
And that goes down to effort because he is more talented. Like, that's what I mean. Like, defensively, I don't have any problem. He did everything right. It was more when he had the ball at his feet. There was a lot of times where I'm like, if he just polished it up a little bit, he would be pushing for that starting spot. He would have Frazier questioning whether he should be Acosta, even though he's in form. Maybe they don't bring in Danny Leyva. Like, that's the thing. If Priso was just a tiny bit more polished, I think he'd really be pushing for that. And that's what I really saw today stand out. And I think he just needs more playing time. That just comes with playing time.
Yep. And he's a kid.
Exactly. He's only like 19. Like,
And Duane, did you have someone off the top of your head, or do you want me to go?
For negatives?
Yes. For an
only what we joked about, and I just mean it as more of a joke than a true negative. Cabral always going the wrong way.
Oh yeah, the goals are in the other direction in France.
It seemed like he had a clear route to chase. Whenever he got on the outside, like when he was in the middle, he would head towards the net, but when he was on the outside, it always seemed weird that he would get the ball and then turn around and go the wrong way.
Yeah, and dribble back up across
when there was an open lane. So it was just
like a
weird.
salmon swimming upstream.
Mitch and I kind of had a laugh about that. But no, go ahead, Mitch.
For me, it was Yappy. just kind of invisible, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why he's playing on the wing on the right when he should be in dead center. Like I get wanting Cabral to get some minutes in there. That's why you brought him in, is because he can play across the front line. But Yappy is not a winger. Like he's just not. That's not his game. He's a hold-up guy. He's a target guy, and just seeing him trying to run the lane, run the outside lanes and get crosses into traffic is just not. It's a waste of his talent. It's a waste of minutes. I don't know what the point is. I mean, maybe just to kind of diversify what he's doing on the field, but like it feels like every minute he's on the wing is a wasted minute for him in terms of his development and getting up to an impact level goal scorer.
And I don't mean I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean this against anybody out there in the Rapids. It really felt like they were throwing shit at the wall and see what stuck with the
Yeah, maybe.
That's what it felt like, and it's not saying that they don't know what they're doing, but it's just trying to see where he plays the best. But you're right, he wasn't there at all. Like you couldn't see him on the wing, and maybe left wing he was a lot more visible the last couple times he played there. But on the right, he just drifted.
He was nothing. Yeah, and he had that one-on-one where he didn't lay it off to just the most wide open Ronan of all time. But
man.
But I thought he still put a good touch on it and was able to get some weight behind a shot, but it just wasn't a great shot. Outside of that, he was invisible, and I don't know what it's going to take. And I still am just going to stand by, send him down to R2 and let him score 7 goals in 3 games and then come back or something. You know what I mean? Just like let him get some run.
Especially a red hot R2 team that's like
and then
one loss or something like that. Yeah,
they've been awesome. Outside of that, Cabral kind of he was so clearly so fast, right? Not just fast, all the ball skills compared to everyone else on light years ahead of everyone, both physically and skill. And I just wanted him to just use that more. It just felt very passive to me.
If he could just pull the trigger before he gets right to the net, when there's a bigger target there, it just felt like every time he would get in, he'd end up at the post with nothing left, with 2 defenders and the keeper right there. And then he's got no lane to pass to. The ankle's been cut off at that point. If he could just get to a place where he could pull the trigger before then.
Just like when he starts, he just doesn't seem to have that urgency level that he does when he's kind of in that super sub role.
But I mean, again, you're completely right. In the way I look at this, if he has all the talent in the world, he is good at soccer. But there's a reason the Galaxy got rid of him. There's a reason he's not in Europe anymore. And the reason is that he hasn't been able to put it all together. Now, that's something the Rapids think they can fix, and that's something the Rapids think they can get through his head. And I believe in the Rapids because they've done it in the past with plenty of players, Lawless being one of them. And I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. But you're right. The biggest issue with him is, again, decisiveness in front of the net, which that XG is exactly where you see it. That's represents who Cabral is, even though he does have the talent, because he gets himself in the right places. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't have that killer instinct yet. And that's something that I think he can develop. Yeah. Although I think sometimes it's just something that you're born with. But that's something I think as a striker or even a winger, if you're in the right positions, it might just take some time as well.
All right, guys, we're gonna give some flowers here in a sec, but let's hit some partners here. Let's hit these ad reads up and talk about the homies over at Shady Rays, baby. Shady Rays, take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact. From building playsets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime, Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by 250,000 people. And also make sure to hit up the homies at Fubo TV. Fubo TV has 140 plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. Stream live TV from any device. Watch the most Colorado sports for the lowest possible price. Start watching immediately. Right now with a 7-day free trial, there's no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching. Includes 1,000 hours of cloud DVR at no extra charge. And you can watch local teams while traveling. You just could have seen the CU Buffs do their spring game. Watch Shadur Sanders get loose with it to Travis Hunter. That was awesome. You got Avs still first round games on altitude. Nuggets will be off of that, off of altitude. But you also have the NFL draft this week, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So you can watch all that on altitude and ABC with Fubo. Go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR. Use the link right there in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Thank you, Fubo. Okay. Flowers time?
Flowers time.
Flowers.
Do some flowers.
Let's give some flowers from the fellas. Can I go first? I never go first.
Go ahead.
Can I go
Yeah,
first?
go ahead.
Yes.
I have flowers for the debutantes. 2 Rapids making their first team debut tonight. Illich in goal for the first time. And Michael Edwards playing his first minutes with the senior team. I thought Illich was fine. Never really faced too much trouble. I don't think that goal was on him all that much. And Edwards solid in his few minutes he had. I just wanted to give them shouts for playing. That's really it.
Has Ollie played on the first?
Yes.
Oh, he has. Okay.
Yeah,
Before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was nice to see them play. That's it.
Like that.
Yeah. That's it.
You want to go next week?
Sure. I would like to give my flowers to the Colorado Rapids Soccer Club.
Wow.
For putting together a roster that was made of players who wanted to play soccer, who wanted to take it seriously and get that Open Cup win after many, many years of scratching my head going, who are these people on the pitch right now? I'm not even sure who these players are. We rolled out with a starting lineup that had, some of our top players on there. It just felt like not only did the club take it seriously, but the players played as if they were ready to win this game, which was just awesome. Like such a nice change from what, those of us who have been watching Open Cup for 10 plus years.
We talked about it.
What a nice change.
We talked about it. Yeah. It was, I just said, you guys are scarred, right? Because it didn't matter. That first, you had just this look on your face all day today. Every time we talked about this game, you were like, no.
I've been programmed.
You were Eeyore about it. Yeah,
I've been programmed to think that we were not going to take it seriously, and I was pleasantly surprised. So shout out to Robin Fraser, to Porig, to anybody involved with, and the players themselves. It just felt like there was a lot more seriousness put on the U.S. Open Cup that we haven't necessarily seen in the past. So just awesome. It was just nice to show up and see the guys play,
So we were talking about this on Press Rows, me and Matt Pollard. And he said last year that it was mostly starters, and I didn't think that was really the case. But then, you think about it. Now I'm trying to find it. Oh, God, come on. Because maybe I'm struggling here. This is great podcasting.
And it could have been, but the other thing about in the past is it's always seemed like it hasn't been taken seriously. It's just been kind of like an extra practice for
Sure.
us. And I'm sure some players will disagree with me on that from past years, but it's just always felt like that.
So last year starting in Minnesota, remember it was the split game because of the lightning and rain. They finished it the next day, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
But let's see. Here's who started: Barrios and Max with Rubio. So Barrios and Rubio, and then you had Markinek, Mosqueda, Acosta, Beta, Trusty, Rosenberry, Gus, and Clint Irwin. So Trusty, Rosenberry, Rubio, Barrios, Acosta, and then Max wasn't then, but is now. So about the same amount of starters, but it does feel like a much less.
It felt like we took it seriously today.
It just felt like a less serious, just a less serious lineup. Like
for sure.
Maxu and when you saw Maxu and Lawless together as the two center backs, you were like, okay, they want to win this game.
We're on, yeah.
And
I think like when we had Porygon, a couple shows ago, that was one of the things he said. He was just like, we want more trophies, we want more hardware, and Open Cup and Rocky Mountain Cup, all those things, MLS Cup, all those things are part of it. And I feel like kind of like what Yahir said to kick off the show, it was time to put up or shut up, and like they put up, and we got the win, and the Colorado Rapids own Colorado.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah,
we
sorry.
own it.
Yeah, it's that. It's
sorry,
ours now.
That argument's over.
Yeah.
Who have you guys given flowers to when I left?
I don't think we actually gave any more flowers. We were still talking about the same one.
We're just happy. Just happy talks.
Yeah, go ahead. We were talking about.
I'm not really that happy, honestly.
Here's the cliff notes, though. Is basically we were saying that, it felt like this lineup was so like, oh, it's such a good lineup starting. And then you look at last year, it was like the same amount of starters as last year's team. It was like, wasn't really anything different. Are you watching the Avs game? Is that what you keep looking up at? What's the score?
Yeah, it's 3-1 Seattle.
Oh, man.
Not good.
But
not
again,
a good look for your guy.
I feel like such a downer, but
no, it's okay. Be a downer.
Yeah, but to me, this game was just like,
well, yeah. It's true. We knew that it would be. We knew that it would be.
Like, I'm not really happy. I'm also not sad. I'm glad we won. Like the Rapids won, but I'm like, Open Cup. It's like you should be winning this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But
like, it's fun. Like they
since
did.
Borg Smith took over in 2017, they had not won a knockout game. So it does feel a little different in that not only did they win, it was decisive, and in a way that it was absolutely not.
I loved it.
That's what I liked.
This whole match. Just
they were on the front foot the entire time. I think they had 70% possession. It was a controlled victory.
And you're right, yeah. Like, this is what we should do when we're playing a lower level team. But the fact that we did it and we just kicked them around while we did it, delicious. Just wonderful.
Okay, and this gonna, again, I know we're getting flash, and this gonna go against everything. But like, you can't say yes. It to me feels like, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know what I mean? You guys finally tried. Look what happened. Good job, guys. And it's like, I mean, this is what you should be doing. Like this is the level you're expected to play at. Like, this is the level that you've pronounced to the world that you want to play at. That's the frustrating part to me. And I'm sorry to be a downer because that's not. But I'll get out of that.
Downer, dude.
Maybe I'm just like frustrated because like it's more of a frustration thing. But to me, if I'm gonna give flowers to anybody, it's gonna be Robin Fraser.
Do it. Let's hear it.
I think Robin Fraser deserves all the credit. Dude has done a great job of managing the players. He's done a great job of really getting the best out of these guys. and I think it's only going to get better. This is now what, 6 games unbeaten, 5 in
Yep.
the MLS, 1 in the US Open Cup,
Yep.
and all of that goes. I think a lot of that credit goes to Robin for being such a smart coach and knowing when to push the guys' buttons and how to move things around.
I'll say this from talking to people just around the club the last couple weeks. Frazier is like obsessed with getting like wins. Like he's like maniacal. This is like a mad scientist level Frazier in his office trying to cook up wins. Like they are determined to turn around the season. And again, this is just a win against a USL1 team, right? Like we can't like
Great, love it.
But a win is a win is a win is a win.
A victory is a victory.
And that has to feel good for that team. Rubio seemed pretty stoked. They were up in the box watching the game. They seemed all pretty hyped. I mean, it's just good to have good vibes after this instead of just bummer vibes.
Dude, it would have been so bad if they would have lost this game. It would have been so bad.
Kevin's. It's so true because this was a highlight moment of the pod for 2023 for me.
Hold on, keep it there. Keep it up there, yeah. Keep it up there, yeah. I'm screen grabbing it. Okay, cool. Got it. I just had to grab that. Perfect. Thank you.
Let's try stuff.
Hey, sometimes you throw stuff in the oven and a cake comes out. That's what happened.
That is also how babies are born.
Wow.
Science.
Oh boy, this is getting weird. Okay, let's look ahead to Vancouver real quick here. But before we do that, you know who it is. You know who we're talking about right now. The best burrito place in town, nay, the world. Maybe not the world, but it's a good one. It's Illegal Pete's. This episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast, Winners Lounge, is brought to you by Illegal Pete's. Graduation season is coming up, and let's face it, all the soon-to-be graduates deserve a celebration that's as epic as they are. And what's a party without Pete's? Illegal Pete's Catering will provide a spread that leaves the whole family proud, even if they don't understand your major. Illegal Pete's delicious ingredients and customizable options are the perfect way to treat your guests to a culinary adventure they'll never forget. To book your order, head to catering.illegalpete's.com. Don't make yourself pull another all-nighter. Book your graduation catering ahead of time. Congratulations, graduates. You did it. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. We do love Illegal Pete's. Shout out. Oh, tip of the week. Duane?
Mitch's Pete's tip of the week.
Whoa.
That was like funky and
little jazz hands in there for you.
If you're like me, and after a night out with your friends, you're knocking a few back, you're maybe enjoying some of Colorado's finest, and you end up at that little place called Taco Bell sometimes, and you get that quesadilla that has that sauce in it. At Illegal Pete's, if you ask them to throw a little of the spicy ranch in their quesadilla before you fold it up, it's like the deluxe version of the Taco Bell quesadilla. That's the tip of the week. Boom.
That sounds delicious, actually.
Heck of a tip right there.
So good. I also throw some of the fried potatoes in the quesadilla. Oof.
I have not had Illegal Pete's like in a week, and I'm craving it.
A whole week? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's been a
while. Oh man. So the Avs just lost. Is it over?
No, it's still 3-1.
Fuck, dude. Come on, Avs. What the hell?
I'm not worried. I honestly like. They won it last year. What else can I ask for? Like,
I got like 150 playoff shirts in today.
See, to you, that's a different problem for you. Like,
fuck.
No, they're still gonna win, man. I'm like convinced they'll win.
Oh God. Okay. I hope so. Anyways,
There
Vancouver.
we go. They scored, baby.
Let's go. All it took was
Now
AJ.
we're the DNVR Avalanche podcast.
All it took was seeing AJ drop the headline of them go quietly into the night. I saw it in the Slack. I saw it. He spoke too soon. Go Avs. Go Aves.
Oh, we're seeing some karma from Logan here.
Oh, that's funny. Hey,
I didn't see that.
Can you? If I want to find it.
I
They
got
put
him.
up a 007 meme, and it said 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 games for Lewis, which was true. And then he put up a brace and an assist. So eat it.
And right before that second Lewis goal, there were like 2 or 3 Hailstorm supporters like singing a song and trying to be cool with it. And then there was some people clapping like, "Yay, good job on your song." And as soon as the clapping ended, boom! Another Lewis goal. That's what you get. It was wonderful.
Duane after an Open Cup win is wild. Wildin', dude.
Love it.
Okay, this weekend, Vancouver. There it is. Look at that. Would you look at that?
Can we reply to them and say they call me 207?
My favorite is
Oh,
quote
217.
my favorite is quote tweeting those with "and then what happened."
Just make a whole TikTok where it's like before and after.
And then what happened?
So great to see Hailstorm lose. Just so great. They came in so full of pomp and ego after beating RSL. And
Hey, that's a great little stat from Matthew. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
How many Rabbits players can say that? None except for him.
none. I don't think any.
He was the
Rubio-
only one who scored in CCL.
Rubio wasn't in the team in 2018-19 when they were against Toronto, were they?
Because CCL was just 1-1 aggregate, right? It was Max at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rubio, I don't think was part of the last crew that went against Toronto.
I don't remember who scored. Did they even score in the Open Cup game? I had it up here. Yeah, they scored once. But that was Mosquito.
Yeah, it's literally just Max.
Wow. Tight.
It
Let's
might
go.
don't quote me on that, but
No.
also yeah, Ryan Spielborg's on the Hailstorm, which you
He's
can't really hate.
one of the owners.
We do like Spilly. This
We
is
can't hate
a
on
pro
Spilly.
Spilly podcast.
Yeah,
No, Spilly is my favorite all-time Rocky by far.
Spilly is definitely like the gritty of Denver. That's how I look at Spilly. So lovable.
I love him to death. I'm so glad his team lost. Great.
All right, Vancouver. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Does Spilly on Vancouver too? Yo, he might, dude, at the rate that athletes and celebrity own MLS squads.
Did you guys even have anything on this game against Vancouver?
I do.
I don't. I just have vibes.
The thing is, this game is very important. Vancouver is right there with you in the standings. They are bad. Defensively, they have a lot of issues, but they do have an amazing goalie that they brought over from Japan. So you got to be really aware of that. Their scoring is still not there either. I think they also got to be they can take advantage, especially with probably the top defense in the MLS, in my opinion, or at least top 5. So I think what the Rapids really have to do, they have to get out there in transition and really take advantage of all Vancouver's defensive lapses, and I think they can win this game 3-1.
What's your key to success on offense versus Vancouver, Yahya?
The key is literally St. Louis. You saw how they were high pressing and you were getting the key passes, and you got to do the same thing. You got to get that ball through, and you got to make sure you're running. Run them out of that building. It's their own building, but that's the way you'll be Vancouver. And I'm all in on Colorado beating them. I think Vancouver's bad, and they've shown it multiple times. They've lost to RSL. What else can you ask for?
Yeah. The only thing I have on this one, and it kind of goes in line with what you're saying, but I think this is the game where you need a set piece to go in,
Yes.
right? Especially going up against a strong keeper, where obviously finishing has been an issue. You got to put one in, whether it's Lawless or whoever gets ahead on it. Maxu maybe.
Wilson's due.
Yeah.
I just think you need to convert something where it plays static. Just feels like this is the game where that kind of has to happen. And then, hope another counter turns into 2, and hopefully 2 is enough to get 3 points. So I don't know. That's kind of my biggest look ahead. Right. And then curious about who plays, because, Max played the whole game. Ronan came on, played about half an hour. Maxu played the entire game. Markinick played the entire game.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Lewis played the whole game.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Did they
Yeah.
play the whole game?
Mhm.
They
I mean, they were jogging. Yeah, you're right.
they
right. Yeah.
It wasn't an intense match, and
No.
this is all disrespect to Hailstorm. Like, you guys did not make them work. Like, they did. Like, this is all disrespect to Hailstorm. Like, if you're a lower league team, what's the key? Make them run, tire them out, and if you can't play spoiler, at least mess up their MLS league. And this is what I'm telling you. Like, I just think that everybody was jogging on the Rapids. I saw very little full sprint, high press effort from anybody that I thought
Yappy actually was pressing. I'll give him that.
Yappy. I was thinking
Yappy and Cabral.
Yappy. Actually, part of my thoughts at the end of the first was Yappy has he's the Energizer Bunny. That dude is always on the move. So I would say he was on the move pretty quick.
He's not a starter though. That's what I meant. Not a starter that I thought was gonna be that Saturday was full sprint. Because even Jonathan Lewis on that first goal was kind of I'm just gonna shoot this from outside of the box and see what happens. He wasn't trying to run it all the way through, and that's just again, the Rapids are way more talented than Hailstorm, as it should be, and that's all it is. And
love to hear that.
And they didn't
say it again.
The Rapids are super talented and way more talented than the Hailstorm. It's also a USL 1 squad. You should be a lot more talented.
Can I have one more set of flowers to give out late?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding us, Judgmental Jim. But flowers to Maxu. His first time wearing the armband as captain of the Rapids.
Dude, that's so badass. I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
That's dope.
He came out as captain today.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Although I don't know I guess maybe Lawless, but it makes sense.
Maxu, by the way, undercover bully. When the ball is not near whoever is trying to end up with the ball eventually, Maxu put a dude in almost a sleeper hold tonight for a full 10 seconds before the referee looked over and then he let it go. I mean, it was full WWE out there. It was hilarious.
I mean, dude, this is what I said at the beginning of the season. Maxu is, for the DP tag to be worth it, has to play at the level of a top 3 defender in the MLS, at least an MLS Defender of the Year finalist, and he's doing it. And he's absolutely doing it. I don't give 2 shits if anybody out there disagrees with me, because it's true. Put him in the lineup and take him out in the lineup. The Rapids have not given up multiple goals since that Minnesota game. They had been really good. The one game Maxu doesn't start, they give up 2. There's a reason why. And it might not be because of his skill, but the leadership he brings to that back line, the stability, is everything you want in a defensive back. And I can't wait for the day in a year or two when he's being flanked by Moise Bombito and Daniel Chacon, and you just got 3 ballers and 2 of them that play in the 6. And those dudes are just gonna be running wild on MLS offenses, dude. And right now, this defense is really good, but you put 2 ball players that are making passes that play to the 6, that basically play like Jack Price next to Maxu, and that are tall, athletic, and fast. game over for the rest of the league.
Over.
Like, and I love Danny and Lawless. They've been great this year. They really
Lawless
rebounded.
especially, bro.
They've rebounded so much from last year, where it was like every little mistake was so noticeable.
Let's see. Anything else we want to hit? Either game? Should we wrap up with our predictions for the Vancouver game?
Yep.
Duane, you go first.
3-1 Rapids.
3?
What's your goal scores?
Rubio. Rubio, Max, and then Barrios with another late one just for fun.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to go?
I actually had the same thing as 3-1. I even said it. 3-1. They dude, like Vancouver, like I've seen them play. They have good players. Don't get me wrong. Right now they're just not transitioning. I can even see like a 2-0, like Kevin says.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think a 3-1 with the Rubio brace and a Ronan banger.
If you get another O, is that?
That's Yarby.
That's all time.
Yeah,
I think it could be a clean sheet.
He'll be the all-time
very likely
clean sheet.
High possibility.
I'm gonna say 2-0. I don't know if Max starts, but I feel like he kind of has to.
Who else do you play? I mean,
yeah, no, you're right.
I'm Danny's a 6. He can play. Maybe
I think Lawless, and I'll say Rubio gets another one. Yeah, 2-0. Boom.
Also, we didn't even talk about Danny Leyva, so we got to get into that next week.
I mean, we can do. Give me your cliff notes quick. Just your initial gut move.
Yaya's a big fan.
I like Danny Leyva.
I like what I've seen, but it's not a ton. Yaya has the scouting report here.
I love Danny Leyva. He plays at 6. He's really strong. He can kind of do a Jack Price imitation really well. He, for a long time, he was what Yappy is to the USYNT squad. Very high, big promise. People are really invested in this kid, kind of like Yappy. So I'm all in on Danny Leyva. People don't understand the move. I do. Acosta went down. Bassett has an injury that you don't know how long he's going to be out with. You need to rotate the squad, especially because now you have an extra added game because you won the league. You won the cup game. So now you have another added game. So literally, you have 5 games in 3 weeks. You need to be ready.
Yeah, if you want to know why, look at the schedule for May. That will.
I think there's 2 straight weeks with midweek MLS games.
May is gonna be rough. We're gonna need that depth.
And also remember that the Sounders are stacked in the midfield with Vargas and Atencio playing great. So Danny's not getting any minutes. If either of them wasn't there, he'd be playing regularly. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
We
saw him tonight. He was hanging out. He was hanging out with the Acosta, Galvan, Rubio crew up in the box. So already getting settled in with his new teammates.
Liking all these predictions, by the way, in the chat.
Yeah, I love it. Make sure you put these in when we put up our goal. When we put up our predictions post on game day. Love it if you guys could reply with those. Twitter loves engagements now that are replies, not necessarily likes or retweets. Replies are what does it for us. So if you see us throwing stuff out on Twitter there, definitely reply back if you could.
Getting out of hand, Logan, on Twitter? What?
One last thing that I do want to say is screw the Rising.
Yeah, go Suns, go Rising. What? You're in the wrong podcast, guy.
Every team in Phoenix. Shout out PH
Hey, love our guys.
Denver
hate your teams, though, dude.
It's 303 season all the way.
Bye.
It was so hard for me last night to have to make the graphic for the Suns.
Haha, you have to make the Suns clinch graphic, nerd.
Also, real quick, we didn't get flowers, but the goal scorers, Max and J. Lou, deserve all the flowers in the world.
Yeah, you're right. We probably should have given them flowers.
Those are automatic flowers, but we got to say it real quick.
Flowers for them.
I didn't think about that.
But we just do have to give them real quick and make sure that they get that bouquet, because if it wasn't for them, this wouldn't be possible. So.
Everyone's sad.
Boy,
pretty dope, though. J. Lou involved with all 3. Max with a goal and an assist. Nice to see.
I was wondering what Ty Viking was saying when he said Papas, but he meant Lala. I was like, who is papas? I was like, I'm not gonna put it up because I don't know what the innuendo is.
Papas fritas.
Papas fritas.
I was like, who the hell is Papas? And why is he going in with his head?
That's awesome. All right, plug us out of here, yeah.
DNVR _Rapids. That's where you can find us on Twitter. Give us a like on this video. That really helps out. That's how we show the people in our higher ups that we're doing good. Also, 5-star review wherever you hear us, whether it be Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. If you have nothing nice to say, please don't say it at all. And besides that, just follow all of us on Twitter, Yahir _Vazquez, Mitchell _Carroll, and Duane Brown. It's just your Twitter handle.
2 underscores.
The Duane Brown.
The Duane Brown and Mitchell.
There's some other one that's not the real one.
Yeah, he's Brown Town. You're Duane Brown. And we appreciate you all. We really love you guys. You make this possible. Mitch says it all the time. We build a nice little niche in the internet, and there's our little comfort spot. So you guys are always welcome in.
Yeah, exactly. You got anything else to add to that, Duane?
As always, thanks for staying up late with us. As always, after games. No
write a
show
paper
tomorrow because we had this beautiful win over the Northern Colorado Hailstorm today.
That's too much to say.
They're no longer the hailstorm; they're the rainstorm because they
They're
got
the heck
absolutely
washed
storm.
out. All right, yeah. So make sure you get your diehard memberships to thednvr.com. You get discounts at the bar, discounts on merch, free merch, early access to event tickets, cheaper event tickets. You get behind the paywall, you get the Discord. You might even be able to join the Madden League. Maybe it's possible that you can join the Madden League.
Possibly soccer league next year.
Potentially, we might even mess around and do some FIFA.
The 3 people on the
Yo,
screen.
all I'm gonna say is that look out because in the summer we might have a huge event at the bar, including FIFA, and might have a little bracket going on. Just watch out for that. We just gotta wait for the playoffs, and I think it'll be really fun for y'all.
All right, guys, that's it. Like and subscribe. DNVR Sports on YouTube. Hit the like on the way out. More important than all of that, baby. Up the